Much. With me I have Mr. Wahid Patel of Ethical Political Consulting. Mr. Patel, what exactly does this speech today mean to the man on the street?
I think two things. The Minister echoed a very important message which is consistent throughout the speech, which is that the government, in this tough economic climate that it finds itself with, low growth, poor economic performance, a difficult global economic climate and growing social demands, remains committed to implementing one plan for the country, and that's the National Development Plan, and that's the plan that the ruling party took to the electorate when it campaigned in the May elections. And that plan remains a centerpiece of government thinking around how to advance the country developmentally, not just over the next 20 years, but over the next 5 years in terms of how it begins to implement the bones of the NDP. I think the second thing that the Minister says is that the government is not going to pull back on the prioritization that it's afforded to basic priorities that ultimately not just affect all South Africans, but affect the poorest of the South Africans most adversely, and that's education and health. And that those will remain the centerpieces of government spending priorities, but how government goes about spending that is going to involve some reprioritization of expenditure, and it will be able to do that while simultaneously cutting back on wasteful expenditure, low-hanging fruit, unnecessary expenditure that the state can control. It's well within its control without taking away from the poorest of the poor. And that's evident in his statement when he says that the government won't balance this budget off the backs of the poor.
Now let's talk a bit about bailouts, more scrutiny on state-owned enterprises. Is this something that's going to work this time around?
Look, I think the government is treading very carefully and saying that they're not going to adopt the Eurocentric and American approach to how they provide financial ease to state-owned enterprises that are struggling. And the model proposed for Eskom here today is perhaps an indication of how government intends to test its ability to deal with other state-owned enterprises who are finding it difficult to survive and stay afloat, because they're not just state-owned enterprises, they're also corporations who are competing in providing services in the areas globally, like SAA. It's a transportation airline business, and so the model proposed for Eskom clearly isn't just aimed at throwing money at trying to deal with the problem, but saying how within the balance sheet of Eskom and within the assets that the state can leverage through the sale of those assets as being non-core to the business of the state, provide leverage to Eskom to become a little bit more financially stable, effect a turnaround and become competitive, without taking money away from the delivery of public goods and services, which would have happened if this was a traditional bailout. So I think here is the makings of a government approach to how relief can not just be provided to one SOE, but a model that the government can use from time to time for a range of SOEs. But these SOEs are all different in nature. They operate in different sectors, so it's not going to be a one-size-fits-all approach, and that simply means that if this works for Eskom, it doesn't mean it's a guaranteed recipe and formula for success for SAA. It operates in a different market space, impacted upon by different market conditions.
Okay, Mr. Patel, thank you so much for that analysis. David, I believe we're going back to you in the studio right now.
Yes, indeed, Ebra. Thanks indeed. We were